Welcome to lesson 6. Today, we are learning about list, one of the most useful data structure in Python. Lists allow us to store many values inside one variable. Let's begin. A list, what is a list? A list is a collection of items. You create a list using square brackets. Now, let's start. I'm going to create another file called lesson 6. So this is how you create list in Python. If you have, we give it a name, variable names, which is then our square bracket, apples, banana, orange. So let's try to print fruit. Let's run our code. Let's see what's going to happen. You see, we're able to print our list of fruits, which contain apple, banana, and orange. Our list has 3 items, as you can see, and each of these items, each apple, banana, and orange, has a position called index. So if we want to access any of these items in our list, we use the index to access them. So in Python, indexing starts from 0. Let me go on and explain further for you to get what I'm saying. So if I have fruits that contain apple, banana, and orange. So if I want to get the first fruit, which is apple, or I just want to get apple itself. So I'm going to access it by its index. So this is what we mean by indexing in Python. So it's the first item in our list. It has index of 0. So this is going to print out apple. Okay. So if you run the code, you are going to have apple, as you can see. So if, let me comment this out not to get confused. So I can access the rest of the items in the list in the same way, but with different indexing. So if I have 1, that means the second item is going to be accessed. This is going to print banana for us. So I can as well access the third. So this is going to print out what for us? Orange. So if I run our code, so what I have apple, banana, and orange. That's how you access items of list. So the first item is accessed by 0 indexing, the second by 1, and the third by 2. That means in general, you access an item of a list by index of n minus 1. You can also do things on list. For example, we can access the last, maybe we don't know how many items we have in our list, but we want to get the last item. Okay, so that is done by using negative indexing. So if I want to get the last, print fruit. So I'm going to access the last element. So this is going to print the last item for us. So last item Okay. So if you run our code, we are going to have the last item, which is orange. So second to the last can as well be, so second to the last is going to be -2. So if you run it now, so you are going to have banana. That's just as simple as that. And also, lists are mutable, meaning we can change their value. So when we say something is mutable in programming, it means we can change its value. So what I mean is, for example, if we have, as we have fruits, I can change banana, the value of banana to something else, to like mango or something. So if I have, as I have fruits, so I can say assign another value to the second, sorry, to the second value. So I'm going to do mango. I see. So let's now print our fruit again. So if I run this code, so I have apple, mango, and orange. Okay. So adding and removing items in list. We can also add and remove items in our list. For example, if I want to add more items to our list, like for example, I can say fruit, append. So this word is what we use to add another item to a list, and it's going to add to the end of the list. So I want to add another fruit. I call it pear. So I can also insert it in a particular position. Like for example, if I want to put it in the second, if I want to put it in the second position, so I use insert. So I'm telling Python to add, to change, to add another grapes, another fruit, another item to our list, which is called fruit. So I'm going to add grapes. Okay. So and now this grape is going to be in our second item position. So let's try to print again. Print fruits. So let's see what we get now. So can you see we have apple, grapes, banana. So this grape, okay, we added appear to the end of the list, and then we insert grapes to the second position of our list. We pushed banana out of the second position, which makes it to be now be in third position. So that's just as simple as that. And we can also remove items. So you can notice I'm commenting the code so that we don't have complicated on our screen. We can see the exact program we want to run. So if I want to remove item, just as simple as that, as I told you, if you can read English, you understand Python. So remove is the function we can use to remove item in Python. So I can remove apple. I see. So, or I can, I remove it by name in this case. But I can also remove it by index, assuming I don't know the name of the item I want to remove. So, but I know the index, so I can also do that by using pop function switch, and then I'm removing this item in position 3. So that is index 2. So it's going to remove um, banana. Okay. So and this one is going to remove apple. So let's print our fruit now. So what do we have here? So we are getting error. The reason of our error is that look at our fruit. We have 3 items, right? But here we have already removed apple, which make it to remain 2 items. But here we are trying to remove the third item, which make it to get out of range. So in that case, let me uncomment this so that we have more items to remove from. So that means that's already added pear and grape. So we have 5 elements in our list. So if we remove apple, it's going to remain 4 elements. So we still have the third element to remove. So now let's run our code again. So can you see? So we now have 3 items in our list. So because we have 5 elements, items, and we remove 2. We remove apple and we remove the third one. So when we remove apple, we have 4. So we now remove the third one, which is now become orange. Can you see? So we have grapes, banana, and pear. Okay. So we can also look through a list. For example, we look through every items in our list. Okay, let me do that by doing this. Okay, let me comment this out. So we are going to look through every items in our fruits. So if we know what loop is. Okay, we've done that in our previous lesson. So I have for fruit in fruit. So we print fruit, each fruit. So this represents each fruit, each item in the list. So we now look through it one by one, look through the list one by one. So we can call this fruit anything. We can call it I, we can call it anything, any names that is allowed to be variable. So if we try to run our code, what do we have? We have apple, banana, and orange. That's a nice outcome. So we can also use range to look our list. What I mean by that is you can do as well, do something like this. You have for I in range, length, this is the length. This is used to read how many items do we have in our list fruit. So this will count how many items do we have here. And the range, you remember when we did something like range 5 when we're learning loop in our lesson 4. So this will become, if we have only 3 items in our apple, this will become this. So that's what we just want to do. So we'll now use this index to now access our fruits, each fruit in our list. So that's that. So let's finish our code. So we have print, let's now have print index. So we are printing this out by accessing it. We are accessing it by the by the index. So look at it. So let's print this out and see what we have. So can you see? So I in here is the 0, 1, and 2. Then we access our fruit, our list of fruits by the index dynamically. We do that dynamically. So we have this. It's as simple as that. So we are going to do like to-do list. Let's do this. Let's build a simple command line to-do list. So let's see. What we have learned, we are going to use it to build a simple to-do list. So we define our task to be empty list. Okay. So task 1, we have to pass it input, enter a tax, enter a tax. So tax 2, enter another tax, enter another tax. Okay, so we now append the two tax into our list of tax. So we append tax 1. Then we talk about that in our above code. So we also append it second tax, which is tax 2. Okay, so we are going to print it out by listing our, so we print it out, your tax, here are your tax. Now look through it 40, as you know that it can be name anything, tax in your tax, print them out, print T. Okay, so if you run your code, you see enter a tax. So what do you say? Work. Enter another tax. Run. What do you have? Your tax are listed for you. That's just our lesson 5, and this is the basic idea of how to do apps work. So by the time you are ready to build a real project with Python, you see how everything we have been learning are going to be useful. Those are what you need to build anything you want to build, with other things we are going to learn in our subsequent lesson. So what you are going to do for me now is you create a list of 5 favorite foods, print the first and the last food, add one new food again, then remove one food, print the final. So just try it. You don't have to show me the answer, or you can just show me the code in the comment section. Great job so far. You now understand how to work with list in Python. In the next lesson, we will look at dictionary, another powerful way to store information using key value pairs. See you in lesson 7. Thank you.